So, I keep throwing around the words Paincage and Warzone in my tips and FAQ video, but what are they exactly? Well, this video will quickly address the basics of the two quote-unquote ranked game modes that came with the release of Punishing Grey Raven Global, the Paincage and Warzone. Disclaimer, I'm not super skilled as you can see in the background footage, meaning I'm not super high ranking nor do I have optimal teams for each mode or boss, but I've been able to rank decently well on the Taiwanese server for a fairly casual player that has shitty reflexes, and I wanted to give some information and insight. I'll leave timestamps and any mistakes in the pinned comment below, but let's get into it. As stated in my PGR tips video, it's important to at least participate in Paincage and Warzone to complete the weekly missions and maintain black card income. Even if you just unlock the game modes, it doesn't hurt to at least attempt them to get some of the black cards. You can unlock the Paincage by clearing stage 5-7 for the first time in the main story. Paincage itself is a series of 5 different level fights against a boss. Each character has 5 fight attempts, and when those attempts are expended, the character can no longer be used in Paincage until the following week or cycle. Your score is based on how fast you defeat the boss, and how much HP on average your team has by the end of the run. The higher your score and ranking placement, the more Paincage currency you can obtain. More currency means you can obtain more character shards in the Paincage shop. When you can, use the assault structure that corresponds to each boss's elemental or physical weaknesses, or at least try to use a neutral damage type. Try to avoid using damage types that the bosses have resistances to. You can see this information at the bottom right of the stage selection menu. It's optimal to have at least 2 different main assault structures built since you need to clear 10 stages to get the maximum amount of black cards from the weekly missions. Saving your stronger teams for later stages like 4 and 5 will be most optimal to maximize score. Alright, I hope I didn't lose you guys there because now we gotta talk about Warzone. Warzone can be unlocked after completing stage 4-8 for the first time in the main story, so a little bit earlier than Paincage. Warzone itself is, well, a zone that's split into 3 different stages where you're tasked with clearing waves of enemies, and there's multiple different zones with 2 opening per cycle. Each zone has an elemental weakness, so assault structures with the corresponding element will excel and produce higher scores in that specific zone, like Lucia Dawn or Bianca Verity annihilating the lightning zone, for example. If you don't have a specific elemental or physical character built for that corresponding zone, don't worry, you can still clear Warzone with the other damage types, but eventually you want to build out a team for each element to make each stage easier to clear and to clear them faster. And unlike Paincage, Warzone has unlimited attempts, so it's a little less sweaty. The first and second stages of Warzone are pretty easy, basically just clear the mission. You can skip the first 2 stages with a perfect score if you've done it already, and the third stage is kind of where it gets real. There's a timer and unlimited waves, so in order to maximize your score, you want to take as little damage as possible and clear as many waves as possible. Remember that score doesn't matter, everyone gets the same amount of black cards just by participating, but finishing with a higher score gives you more Warzone tickets that you can use to spend in the Warzone shop to get 6-star memories. Now that I've gone over the game modes, let's talk about efficient team building. Focusing first on leveling the assault class structure, obtaining their corresponding 4 and 2-piece damage set bonuses like 4-piece Barton and 2-piece Darwin for the sake of example, and prioritizing that bottom row for more attack percent, as well as giving them the best weapon you have should be your first priority. You don't need a 6-star weapon if you don't have one, especially if you're not a multi-pass owner. It's not even advised to summon on the weapon banner, but to instead save for future S-rank characters. Your assault structure should do fine with a 5-star or 4-star weapon, and you have a chance of obtaining a 5-star weapon from co-op raids anyways. As for supports and tanks, just having them decently leveled with corresponding set bonuses like 4-piece Da Vinci for example, and some spare weapons should be good enough. Supports and tanks can be invested more after you have a well-invested assault character. And for my final and probably most important tip, but you literally just need to get good. I'm not even joking. I often get questions like who's the strongest character or who's the most meta, and don't get me wrong, some characters are marginally better than others, but in the end, you could beat the content with whoever you choose to invest in, and as long as you know your character and have properly built and leveled them, it boils down to your own skill and knowledge as a player. And some of you are asking, what? Skill in a gacha game? Alright, hear me out. Things like knowing when the boss is attacked to time your dodges, or using the right orb combos to trigger passives or set bonuses, are basically skills that play a huge role in how well you perform, especially in game modes like Paincage and Warzone. The more you play and practice, the higher your scores will be. Oh, I'm out of breath. Okay, so if you have any questions, comment them down below. I do read and respond to them all. If you found this video informative, drop a like, a dislike if you didn't. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss any more future Punishing Grey Raven content and guides. And also join my Discord at discord.io/ajanatamba. Global should be out by the time this video is finished, so feel free to join our community as we level together in PGR. Okay, my throat is killing me, so I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace, late.